Hello, and thank you for joining us today at Off the Grid Treasures and Gifts, our online tutorials for the Angel, Snowman, Christmas Tree, or Santa Claus earring tutorial kit. My name is Lisa Marie, and I'll be your jewelry instructor for the day. As you see on our table, what you're going to have is a finished pair of angel wings, angel earrings, or the snowman, or the Santa Claus, or the Christmas tree kit, which are available for sale locally at our Canyon City store. Marketplace Shops is where we are at, on the corner of 8th and Main at 731 Main Street, Canyon City, Colorado 81212. You can also find our kits based on availability online at www.otgtg.com and as well on Facebook. Today this kit is going to be the angels. It's just an example, and as you can see the angel wings down on this one, I'm going to make them up on mine. Each kit will include the two to three head pins, and then the 2 fishhook ear wires. You've got your halo, the angel's head, the angel wings, and then the angel's body. The 2 tools that we'll be using today are going to be the flush cutters or side cutters and your chain nose pliers. The chain nose pliers are used for making the round loop up here at the top of the earring that will attach to the ear wire, which I will show you how to make. We also have a video tutorial just on making the simple loop, but I'll show you the simple loop procedure as well as the earring for this one. And the cutters are used for clipping off the excess wire when we get to the top. So we'll take what we need for one side of the earring first, and we'll leave it here. So that is going to be the assembly of your angel, or of whatever it is that you're using, depending on the size of bead or color or whichever wings that you choose. And we are using a 2-inch head pin. The bottom of the head pin is going to have this flat piece on it, and that flat piece stops the beads from coming down over the bottom. We have an example of a bead where the bead is way too big, the bottom of it is way too big, and it will slide right over the bottom of the head pin. You will need a spacer bead at the bottom of something like that, but for this one we've made sure that the kits, if you purchase them from me, they are going to keep that bead on the bottom. So for our instructions today, we're going to go ahead and start loading the beads up on the head pin, flat side on the bottom. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how to make a simple eye pin. This is going to be the pin at the end of your head pin here that's going to attach to that ear wire. So you'll be making that with the excess wire that comes up. So you'll have all that excess wire from your angel. We'll be making the ring right there, and then we'll be making your loop and cutting off the excess. So for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to move it on down, and I'm going to show you how we're going to make your round end there. And we're going to use this bottom bead just as the example. So we're going to slide the bead on there, and let's say that we're already finished, and that's actually the flat part of the head pin. And with your round nose pliers, I've already marked on here where I want to be consistent on my curves so that I make the same size rings every time. You can take a Sharpie or a basic pen, whatever will stay. It will wipe off eventually on these. I just haven't had a chance to clean it off with an alcohol swab. And depending on how big you want your loop, it will depend on where you put it on the pliers. For example, you're going to have a much smaller loop here at the tip and a much bigger loop here towards the bottom. So we're just going to use the tip right now to turn this to give us a little bit of space for the loop, just enough so that you can bend it just a tidbit. You don't need to bend it very much, but see, it's no longer a straight pin. It's now just a little bit of a bend. At that bend, which you can also do with your flat nose, we're just going to go ahead and make your loop by grabbing onto above the bead, right above that little loop where you pushed it over, and I'm going to have you hold the pliers in place, and all you're going to do is loop it around. Lessen up on your pliers, move them around so that you can make a complete loop. And see, now you've got a loop all the way around. This loop is over the bead. You can adjust it just a little bit there. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut it right above the bead, and that's going to be on this long part. You can see that it's long wire that I'm cutting, because if you cut this other side, you're going to cut what is going through the bead, and you're going to have to start over. That's why there's 3 head pins in one of my kits. So the flush slide down, flat side down, hold on to your wire so it does not fly away when you cut it. Cut it, and see how I was just able to pull that straight apart. I'm done with my cutters, and now I have my nice little loop. And I've made a single loop. Now this loop is going to be able to open that way and close back. You don't want, see how it's flat here, you don't want to pull it apart like the jump ring tutorial I showed. You don't want to pull it apart, you want to pull it away. So there is our bead, and because we're going to use him for a body, we'll come over and we'll start loading up our beads for our angel. Loading up the big bead on the base first. That's the angel's body, the angel's wing, angel's head, and our angel's halo. Now, you have a full angel ready to go. Same principle here as we just made that loop. You're going to just barely twist at the top there, make a little bit of an angle, slide down on your pliers so you can make a bigger loop than what you had there, and we're going to, you can twist and then just readjust. Move her wings out of the way and wrap it right underneath. Keep her halo out of the way too. It's a little harder when you don't have a round bead right up there at the top. And as you can see, we now have a loop. It's not completely closed yet. It's still a little bit open because we want to be able to adjust it for our ear wire. So now that you've got that loop, you're going to take your flesh cutters, flat side down. It'll make a much cleaner cut on this. Come up underneath it. Hold on to the wire. Cut the wire. Drop the wire. That'll be in your scraps, or you can throw it away later. And now you have yourself a loop. It's still open a little bit, so we're going to open it a little bit more using our round nose pliers. And then we're going to put the little hook on it. Keep the halo down. Close her back up, and you want to try to get that wire as close to the other wire as you can when you bring it in, because it will keep it on the ear wire for you, and we're just a little bit off here, so I need to adjust. These are a little harder to hold on to sometimes. I'll adjust him down, and he looks to me to be pretty straight. And there we have our angel. So that is one of the two angel wings that are going to be in the kit. Angel wing earrings that we have, and like I said, they match also for those of you that have the snowman or the Christmas tree or the Santa Claus as well. And we ask you to join us for our next tutorial for making different kits as well as jewelry creations, and we hope you have a great time beading. Thank you very much for visiting Off the Grid Treasures and Gifts. Have a great day.